Welcome to H2K Infosys. H2K Infosys is a e-verify business based in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. We provide 100% job-oriented, instructor-led, face-to-face, true live online software training programs. It also includes access to Cloud Test Lab with software tools. We provide live project for you to work on. We also provide assistance with mock interviews, resume preparation and review, and job placement assistance. H2K Infosys is trusted by so many students across the world. H2K Infosys provides world-class services in IT training with real-time project work for corporates and individuals, special IT training for MS students in the United States, software design, development, QA manual and automation, performance testing and maintenance, IT staff augmentation, job placement assistance, and tech support.
I'm asking you, did you miss the class on Tuesday is what I'm asking, Sashir.
Yeah.
Did you attend the class?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I mean, we were discussing all this in the class. That's what I'm just saying. See, whenever we have a super or this, that should be the first statement of the constructor.
Oh, no, constructor part is fine. So I'm talking about this method, public void validated address.
Oh, I'm sorry then. We can see. That's what we exactly did in this example, right? In the move method example, that's what we exactly did. We call the superclass method, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what you're asking?
Yeah, means I was, okay, so that's a valid.
Yes,
yeah,
method we could do that. That's the rule only for constructors. I'm sorry, I was thinking about constructors. Okay, do you understand it?
Yeah, I got it now. So yeah.
Yes. Everyone, in the constructor, super or this call, it should be the first statement of the constructor. But in a method, you can call superclass method wherever we want to. There is no restriction to that. So, we were discussing about the final variable, right? What is the final variable?
The constant
value. Copy of value.
It's not.
The constant value that cannot be changed.
Exactly. It's a constant value that cannot be changed. Once we assign a value to a final variable, I think, yeah, what you're saying is also right. When we assign to a value to a final variable, it cannot be changed, right?
Yes.
So final is a keyword which we can apply to variables, methods, and classes.
Variable.
When we make a variable as final, we cannot assign a new value to the variable. When we make a method as final, we cannot override the method in a subclass.
Oh.
When we make a class is final, we cannot extend the class. Let's say here in the vehicle method, if I make this move method as final, right? I cannot override it here. It gives the compilation error saying cannot override the final method, right? If a method is final, we cannot override the method. And what happens if we make a class as final? We cannot extend the class. Here it says cannot extend the final class, cannot subclass the final class vehicle. So final is a keyword which we can apply to variables, methods, and classes. If we make a variable, we don't make a constructor as final. No.
Okay.
When we make a method as final, we cannot override the method. When we make a class as final, when we make a method as final, we cannot override the method. And when we make a class as final, we cannot extend the class. Folks, any doubts?
So
Sorry?
Yeah.
What is final?
Is
Final is a keyword. Final is a keyword. The modifier.
To use this keyword, we cannot change anything.
No, see, I'm sorry. See, when we apply it to a variable, when I create a final variable, for example, I say final int I, right? I say final int I is equal to 20. I cannot change the value of the variable, right?
Right.
Yes. And final, you can keep it for a method also, right? When I keep for a method, when I make a method as final, this method cannot be overridden, which we were overriding it previously. We cannot override this method. It gives us compilation error saying final method cannot be overridden.
Okay. And how about like, can we do a private final, or like, because it looks like it doesn't give any advantage to make a private method as final.
Yes. See, there is no point in making a private method as final, right? Because final method is private method is not visible at all in the outside of the class, right?
Yeah.
There is no concept of overriding it, right?
Yeah.
You can't override it, but you can access it.
I'm sorry?
I think you can't override it, but you can access it.
Exactly. When we just say final, we can access it. As long, see here, if I make it as a final, I can access it because protected it is the same. Yes, final, we cannot override the method. We cannot change the behavior of the method. And we can, when we keep it for a class, we cannot extend the class. Folks, this is very important interview question also. Final. I mean, of course, they can ask anything what they wish in the interview. Everything is important. Thus will they ask about final many a time.
And yeah, I have one question. I mean, if I make a method final and if I make a method private, I mean, basically like you're not trying to access that particular class.
Sorry?
For example, if I have a method defined as private.
Okay.
So
legally you can make it, but it doesn't really make sense. That's what I'm saying.
no, my question is that okay, now you are defining it as private final. Now if I make something as if I just make it as a private member, and for example,
Okay.
if I define one more function, for now we are defining it as private. Now if I make it public final, so
see, you cannot create two methods with same name and same arguments. They are duplicate methods.
No, Neha. See, my question is that now you are defining it as private. This function move as private. Okay.
Okay.
If I replace it by public final, what is the difference between the two methods? Anyway, I am not able to access this particular method outside the class.
Yes, it's not considered as overriding. When I have the same method here, it is not considered as overriding. When I have a private method, when I define the same method here, it is not considered as overriding. Because this is not visible to the subclass, right? So we don't call it as overriding.
Okay. And if I define it, if I define this move function as public final, I won't be able to write a method move inside the subclass?
Yes, we cannot override it.
Okay.
Okay, folks, any doubts with methods overloading, overriding, constructors, constructor chaining, final keyword, super keyword? Any doubts? Okay. See, we have a concept like polymorphism in Java. So what is polymorphism? Poly is many, morph is form, right? So polymorphism in Java is of two types. One is overloading and the other is overriding. In overloading, we have the same method name but difference in arguments. So the parameters that we pass to the method determines the method call, right? For example, in the compile time itself, when we're writing the code itself, I'm calling the method by passing parameters. So I can say which method is getting called in the case of overloading, right? So overloading is known as compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism. And in the case of overriding, it's not dependent on the reference variable. It depends on the runtime object, right? The runtime object determines the method call. That is the reason overriding is known as dynamic polymorphism. Yes. Overriding is known as dynamic polymorphism. If in interview, if someone asks you the question polymorphism, don't get confused. Polymorphism is two types in Java, overloading and overriding. And then you explain what is overriding, what is overloading. Both. Okay?
Okay.
Folks, any doubts on this? Final keyword, super keyword, constructors, method overloading, method overriding, interfaces, anything.
So actually polymorphism is part of inheritance and the interface, right? The both inheritance and interface
Not
make
like,
it.
see, it's not inheritance or interface make polymorphism. Overloading and overriding make polymorphism.
Okay.
But overriding, it comes into picture only when we have inheritance. But entire inheritance, we don't call it as polymorphism. Polymorphism basic meaning is same thing having many forms, right? It's like we have same name and many forms. That is what we have in overloading and overriding, right? We have the same method name but different behaviors or different forms, right?
Yeah, so overloading methods can be done even in a single class, right?
Yes, overloading, we do it in a single class. We don't necessarily go in two classes, right?
So that is also referred as polymorphism?
Yes.
Okay.
That is what I'm saying. Polymorphism is nothing but overloading and overriding constitutes polymorphism. Folks, any of you have any doubts in, not only this topic, anything we have covered so far or any doubts for that matter? And folks, do you have any feedback or suggestions for the class? Like, I'm going fast or, you want some examples or any kind of feedback or suggestions are at most welcome. If you do this way, we might understand it more better. Sorry?
Going at the right pace.
Okay. So, folks, I'm sure that all of you have Eclipse installed on your machines and you're writing in your own code, right?
Not yet.
No. Oh, it's sorry to hear that, but you have any issues with that, folks? Believe me, until and unless you start writing your own code, it's not easy for you to understand things. It might seem that you understand, but understanding code is not same as writing your code, right?
Yeah, but how we know what we are doing? I mean, lots of time I don't know what I'm trying to do. When I'm going to write a code. So, what's the purpose? What I'm trying to do? You know what I mean? I can copy what you have done.
So why do you see? It's not about copying. Whatever I do, okay. I write a superclass. I write a subclass. I do overriding. I'm asking, are you doing it or are you able to do it on your own? The same thing after the class.
Oh,
That's
okay, yeah. Okay. So can we get some more examples? So just to practice or to understand more like what is overriding, and so that way it's like much more clear.
Okay. So, folks, like take it as an assignment. It's not formal though, but write a program to calculate sum of first n natural numbers. For example, if I have n as 5, write a program to calculate 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. So it should go 1 plus 2 and so on till n, the number. Okay? Hello, are you with me?
Repeat the question.
Write a program to calculate, let's say, for example, if n is equal to 5.
Okay.
Right? So I want to calculate the sum, wherein sum is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Okay? So it's like my sum should be 1 plus 2 plus and so on plus n. Okay? So folks, what will you be using it to do this program? We have to use loop, right? Yeah, any loop. You can use any loop to accomplish this. Try to do it with all the 3 loops, just to get familiar with the syntax of the loop.
Neha Venkat here. So whenever you are saying like any keyword or any new thing, I'm able to note the program. But if you can specify, like you can try out for this concept one program, something like that. If you stress at every point, maybe that helps.
Okay. So for example,
I am noting down or like trying to do as maximum as possible. Yes. Just if you stress, okay. Like it will. Everyone will be like.
So now we are doing. We have covered inheritance, right?
Yes.
So folks, what you try to do is create a class account, okay, and create 2 subclasses: check-in account and savings account. So folks, you decide on what methods an account has. What is an account has? Create account, right? And then make a deposit. For an account we can make a deposit, right? For an account we can do a withdrawal, right?
Yes.
So all these should be methods in your classes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Try to do this example. Account as a superclass and savings account and check-in account as a subclasses, and you think on what methods should go into those objects. So what do we do with an account? We make a deposit, we make a withdrawal, right?
Yeah.
Try out those examples, and see, like, for example, put a method in the account class, like, add account. So you don't want to override it in both the classes. Adding account is the same for both of these things. So you're going to make that method as final, right?
Yes.
Folks, are you with me?
Yes. We have to basically are trying to like asking to implement whatever we have discussed with this account.
Yes. Think on what method should an account have, right? If I have a vehicle, it should have a method accelerate. It should have a method decelerate. It should have a method apply brake, right? Because that is the functionalities that a vehicle could perform, right? With an account, what could we do? We can make a withdrawal. We can make a deposit, right? We can suspend the account, right?
Okay, we're gonna write a program and let you know if we face any difficulties.
Could you please be a little bit loud?
Yeah, what I'm saying is just we're gonna write a program or design a small application. If you face any difficulties, we'll raise it in the next class or the coming classes.
Yes, we could discuss it. See, I'm actually asking you to do something similar to what we did in the current class, right?
Yeah.
So that, you do, instead of making like, say, vehicle and say move method, you try to do something on your own. I mean, you might come up with new methods. That's what we do with an account, right?
Yeah.
And of course, account is going to have a state, a variable balance, right?
Yeah. So, okay. Do we have a class tomorrow?
Yes, we have class tomorrow.
Tomorrow is the last class.
First of all, yes. After tomorrow, we'll be having it on Monday.
Okay. Is this a routine for every week or is it just for this week?
No, see, exactly. I mean, what usually happens is it depends on the convenience of the student. Sometimes we take on weekdays and we keep it on weekends also. When it's like rushing. Some people, they don't really want to wait for like, 2-3 months for them to finish and then to search for a job. It just differs. So currently we have planned, like for next week, we plan to have it on weekdays. This weekend we don't have it. Tomorrow we have class, and we don't have class on this Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. I don't know, but the pace we are going is pretty good for me. But the only thing is, like, we are having classes daily. That really is like very difficult to
Okay, if you want, like, if everyone students like want to take a break, or one day, that's what we did yesterday, but there was some miscommunication, folks. I apologize for that. So tomorrow we have a class. Anyone have any concerns with that? I mean, you had pretty good time over the weekend, 2 days you can practice.
Yeah, we already got a break this week, so I think it should be okay. But I don't know. If we need, probably we will ask, because we have more important things like ATE concepts that are coming. So if we spend too much time here, then we will.
I mean, folks, don't think that basics are very important. I'm like stressing it multiple times that, core Java is very, very important. We cannot understand advanced Java without understanding of core Java. So practice a lot.
Yeah, but whatever, like if everybody else is okay, I'm fine.
Yes.
But tomorrow I'm not going to be in the class, so I have other commitments. Would you please have the recording posted
for all
for
the classes? It might be a little delay, but I've spoke with them yesterday regarding that. But we're going to have the recorded classes uploaded.
Yeah, what are you going to cover tomorrow, Neha?
Yes, that's what I'm about to say. In the next class, we're going to cover the abstract classes, auto-boxing and unboxing, multi-threading, and concurrency. Okay? Abstract class, it's not a big topic though, but it is a very important topic. So we're going to cover abstract classes, auto-boxing and unboxing, and multi-threading. One of the guys who came for the class was asking, I mean, for every topic you say it's very important, right? Everything is important, right? We cannot miss a topic and say this is not important. Everything is important here. So in the coming class, tomorrow's class, we'll be discussing abstract class, auto-boxing and unboxing, and multi-threading and concurrency, like threads. Okay, folks, if you don't have any doubts.
Neha, I wanted to ask about the slides. Where can we get access to the slides?
I'll email you. It's not that I'll ask them to email you. I'll take your email IDs, and all these materials I'll email you by tomorrow end of the day.
Okay, thank you.
If someone don't get it by tomorrow end of the day, write to me at neha.h2kinfosys@gmail.com. You haven't received the materials. Probably if I miss someone in the email by mistake, write to me at neha.h2kinfosys@gmail.com saying, course materials, or just keep a subject so that I reply you with the materials. Okay, if you don't have any doubts, thanks for attending the session, and good night, folks. Catch you tomorrow.
Thanks. Bye.
So many of our students have given testimonials on how our training programs are. You will find them on kudzu.com and on our website H2KInfosys.com. On our website H2KInfosys.com, You will also find more detailed information on who we are, the courses that we offer, what each course covers. Also, if you're interested in a demo program, please register on our homepage on the left-hand side. Just give us more information about yourself and we will send you a link for a demo class. The demo class is absolutely free. Experience our commitment by just attending an orientation workshop at no cost. Our team of faculty and advisors are here to guide you with the right information. If you still have more questions, please feel free to call us. Call us at 770-777-1269. This is a United States number. If you're calling from the UK, call us at 020-337-17615. You can also email us at training@h2kinfosys.com or h2kinfosys@gmail.com. Thank you for watching our videos. We wish you a great career in information technology.